Jimmy, to start with, a question about the outgoing duo of Phil Parkinson and Steve Parkin. What sort of legacy do you think that the duo have left here at Bolton Wanderers?
Well, first of all, when Phil first came into the building, I didn't know Phil before or Steve Parkin, and having been the interim manager just before their arrival into the club, I remember thinking to myself that such was a disengaged group of players that we had at the end of that season. It will take something special to turn this group round and turn them into a team that can A, fight for promotion, and B, get promotion. And Phil and Steve certainly did that. And once promoted, even better job to keep us in the Championship. So the job they'd done for Bolton Wanderers was fantastic. And the biggest thing that we all needed as a club, you know, Phil as manager, Steve as assistant, us as an academy, supporters wanted to see, was investment in the club. And that's the one thing, or the opposite seemed to happen, because obviously the St Mirren game being cancelled over problems with players' bonuses, that was the early warning sign that there would be very little, if any, investment in the football club at that stage. And Phil worked in very harsh circumstances, kept a lot of the situations away from the rest of the staff, took it on his shoulders, and I think it's not until he sort of decided he couldn't continue any longer that you know, these scenarios might come out, but it'd be up to Phil to say his side if he wants to. So I think he's done he inherited, or he's been through the worst set of circumstances any Bolton Wanderers manager in my time of 45 years, either supporting or working at the club, has ever had to go through. And he, you know, I thought he did an exceptional job with what he had to work with.
You mentioned there that you've been in caretaker charge before, and you've been in charge now for a couple of days. We've been working with a lot of the lads for some time now. How have they been this week?
Yeah, I mean, when I got the phone call, it was Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. I was in a Academy Managers course in Stratford-upon-Avon, so I got in my car and got back to Bolton just before midnight. And so we've spent yesterday morning and today on the training ground. Yesterday was training sessions taken by Julian Darby, who knows all the first team players, having worked there for a year, and Nick Spooner and Gavin McCann, because we've got 15 of their players in the 21-man squad. They took the training yesterday. Today we got all our heads together, which was me, Julian, Nick, Gav, and Nick Allenby, who's the head of sports science, and Lee Butler, the goalkeeping coach. We all got our heads together, picked a team, gone through the formations and potential strengths, weaknesses of whichever team Ipswich put out tomorrow. And so we've tried to prepare the players the best we possibly can. But we know the players from the Coventry game really excelled in that game, and we're just going to encourage them for a likewise performance in energy and commitment, which is something certainly the Bolton fans left the stadium feeling really heartened by this display, and with hope for the future. And that's what we need to do tomorrow. Whatever the result or outcome of the game is, we want the fans to go home with equal sort of hope for the future.
Ipswich are the opponents for this weekend. They came down with us from the Championship last year. What are you expecting from Paul Lambert's men?
Obviously, there'll be a far more experienced team than the one we can put out. I think he signed 3 players yesterday, spent £500,000 on one. So, yeah, they're going to have experience, but Coventry had experience. They'd signed a striker for 700,000, I think, you know, that week. So they'd got experience, and the young lads rose to it. Ipswich is going to be obviously a tough test, as every game has been this season so far. But you know, the young players will be looking forward to it. And the key thing this week, they've had a good rest and a good training programme, and they'll be as ready as they possibly can be for it.
On the injury front, are there any knocks we should be aware of?
No new knocks after the Tranmere game. Obviously, Liam Edwards, Dennis Politic, who were unavailable for Tranmere. Connor Hall, Josh Earl, who were more longer term, they're not available. So it'll be the same group of players that are, well, we've got 21 players, including I think 17 youth team players in the building, or well 16 and some young pros in Harry Brockbank. That'll be the squad we choose from.
Would you say a message to the supporters maybe would be just to get behind the lads as best they can?
I think there's support. The message to the supporters is keep going the way you have been. The support has been fantastic. They really have got behind the players. They realise that the players are giving their all for the shirt and in the name of Bolton Wanderers, and they know the younger players. Yes, they're not men yet. They're up against physically much stronger opponents, but they're not shying away from the challenge. They're giving their all, and we need to make sure that that's the same tomorrow in the game against Ipswich, and whatever the outcome is, we hope that together, us as players, us as staff and the supporters, we can move on into the future and hopefully have a bright future together.